Michael Ben-Ami Doyle for Chicago Carless. So let's talk about synagogue security. So an awful, horrible thing happened in Newtown, Connecticut, and it really highlighted security that's maybe necessary and maybe not at schools and public institutions across the country, including Jewish schools and including synagogues. Many synagogues in the United States have less security than synagogues around the world. My synagogue in Chicago historically has been a walk-in at will synagogue, which is wonderful for members since members' money pays to keep the heat on, keep the lights on, and pays for the salaries of clergy and staff. On the other hand, like many synagogues around the country, our campus houses a Jewish school. And in response to the shooting in Newtown, the school that rents space from our campus has asked that we implement a new measure, which means Monday through Friday, everyone who enters our building, including members, will have to sign in at a security desk and wear a badge that says visitor for anything they have to do in that building, like meeting with a rabbi, meeting with a cantor, volunteering for the synagogue, or any other reason. You know, the knee-jerk reaction might be to say that our people are usually asked to label themselves outside of our synagogues, not inside of our synagogues. But more to the point, what is the correct level of synagogue security, and how do you respect the dignity of members while you're implementing security measures? Now, I've made a big stink about my opposition to this new security measure, not the least reason of which because after 9/11 I swore that I would never support knee-jerk security reactions after watching my hometown, New York City, basically be eaten alive by all of the security measures that came in after 9/11, where dozens and dozens of public spaces right up to and including City Hall suddenly became off limits to rank and file New Yorkers. Watching submachine gun toting police walk through Times Square and rifle toting National Guardsmen patrolling commuter rail stations. Lots and lots of security, none of which had any hope of stopping the events that led to that security being put in place. How does a submachine gun stop an airplane from flying into a building? So now we have a card check and a visitor badge at our synagogue, which isn't going to stop somebody from picking up an automatic weapon and blowing the door off of the synagogue as happened in Newtown. So why do we have it? We have it so that the parents of the school can feel a little less anxious, and that's about it. What does it do? It makes parents feel less anxious. God forbid something actually does happen. It won't stop anything from happening. But what it does do is send a message to the members of our synagogue that, you know, you're supporting the synagogue continuing into the future with your financial contributions, with your volunteering, with your showing up at all at a time when most Jews in the United States aren't affiliated. But we're going to make you wear a label that says you're a visitor in your own spiritual home. Now, there's something wrong with that in my eyes. You know, we've got two things going on here. I wrote a big post on Chicago Carless, and I immediately heard back from the Union for Reform Judaism, which said that my post was making the rounds at the URJ because, as I was told, the people who were thinking about synagogue security and the people who were thinking about how to make our synagogues more welcoming were not doing those two things in concert with each other. And that's the point. Yes, we do need synagogue security to a certain point and in a way that is respectful of our membership. But we also need to be respectful of our membership. We need to be respectful of people who might want to walk into our synagogues for the first time to talk about becoming Jews. I am a Jew by choice. To talk about changing synagogues, for life events that need to meet with our clergy, and feel welcome and not feel put off by the fact that they might have to show their driver's license simply in order to talk to their rabbi. Now, at my synagogue, those two discussions did not happen at the same time, and I am the most vocal, perhaps, of several members who don't agree with this new policy. But My feeling is that this is how it happens at lots of synagogues, because this is what human nature is. Oh my God, we're afraid. We have a knee-jerk reaction to that fear, and suddenly we have policies in place that make us feel less anxious, but that have no chance of actually stopping the things that we're afraid of in the first place, but have every chance of making the world less welcoming, less compassionate, less loving. What kind of a message does it send when a visitor or a member goes to walk into their synagogue and they're stopped by a moonlighting Chicago police officer who says, "Show me your ID to enter this building"? I don't have an answer to this. I just have a lot of anxiety over the message that this new policy sends to our synagogue's long-term members, and sadness over the fact that the debates about security and the debates about welcoming synagogues are like the twain that never meet. And they should. Because if you let security concerns be the be-all, end-all driving force of who you let into your synagogue and who you don't, you immediately pull the drawbridge up on Judaism. And that's not a religion, much less a synagogue, that I think that I could in good faith be a part of. Your mileage may vary.